This kid went over to his friend's house for the first time, and everything seemed completely normal at first. They played video games, had snacks, had dinner, then everyone was watching TV together in the living room. They're watching some action movie. And then a few minutes in, one of the characters makes the dumbest decision imaginable. Without saying a word, the dad reaches to the side of the couch, grabs what looks like a giant brick, and he just chucks it at the TV. Yeah, come on, idiot! Kid almost has a heart attack. What? But the thing is, it wasn't a real brick. It was styrofoam. It bounced right off the screen and landed on the carpet. And everyone just kept watching the movie. A few minutes later, another character does something stupid. The mom. Oh, come on! You see, the family had a whole stack of these styrofoam bricks on the sides of each seat in the living room. They were there specifically for throwing them at the TV whenever somebody got mad at what was happening there. This kid thought it was the funniest thing ever. So the next weekend, he's home with his family and they're watching TV and something dumb happens. He doesn't have a brick, so he grabs this pillow and he throws it at the TV. But the pillow was a little heavier than the styrofoam. The TV knocked over and unplugged. His dad, now why would you want to do that, son? He just said sorry. He said it was too much work to explain himself, but he did say he loved going over to that friend's house. There was a kid whose family owned a capybara, and one day, him and his parents got permission to bring this animal into class. Everybody figured it would stay for about an hour. Instead, this thing spent the entire day wandering around campus with this kid. Everybody meet Gerald! Teachers loved it, the principal loved it, the students loved it, and by lunch it had become the most popular student in the school. Well, that day was the day that student elections were happening, and somebody thought it would be funny to quickly make a bunch of posters. Vote Gerald the capybara for class president. The teachers and the principal thought that nobody would take this seriously, but then people started writing his name on the ballots. Gerald. A lot of kids did this. Teachers started hearing people talk about it in the hallways. Who are you voting for? Gerald has my vote. Well, election day comes. Votes get counted, and somehow the capybara wins by a lot of votes. The principal had to stand in front of the school and explain that unfortunately the class president has to be a student. So the student with the next most votes won, and they anointed the capybara as vice president. Way to go, Gerald! This bully stole this kid's lunch every single day. The second this kid would sit down in the cafeteria, here he came. Hey, butt boy, give me your lunch. I hate my life. A couple months later, this kid finally got tired of this happening. So he started packing things he knew the bully would hate. Tuna sandwich loaded with onions. Give me your lunch. Okay. The next day, leftover Brussels sprouts and a bag of deli ham. Day 3, hard-boiled eggs and sardines. The whole lunchroom smelled absolutely horrendous. After a week, out of habit, this bully goes up there to grab it. You sure you want it? No. He doesn't. And that was it. He never stole this kid's lunch ever again. That's genius. There was a family who kept the same gallon of unopened chocolate milk for 6 years. When the dad bought it 6 years ago, nobody was allowed to drink it. He was convinced that unopened food and beverage would become a collectible and rare over time. He started referring to the milk as an investment. Every few months, he would take it out of the fridge, polish it down, and put it back in the exact same spot. The kids weren't even allowed to move it. One afternoon, the son was moving it around looking for a juice box in the fridge. Careful! That could pay for your college one day! Sure it will, Dad. Sure it will. He's insane. They all thought their dad was insane, but the dad kept researching old food online, on eBay, and kept showing the family. See, look, this unopened bag of chips sold for $2 grand last year. Yeah, Dad, that's chips. You're saving milk. Eventually, he bought a tiny refrigerator just to keep this gallon of milk in, and he put a lock on it. The family begged him to throw it away every single day, but he wouldn't. By the end of year 6, this gallon of milk was getting swollen. And one night, they heard a pop coming from the garage. He goes in there. The milk carton had exploded in that tiny fridge that he bought. The smell was so bad, they had to hire a crime scene cleanup company to come and clean it up. This kid said his dad wouldn't stop crying for days. That's pretty sus. At one high school, there was a kid who loved his cat more than anything. He'd had the cat since he was a little tyke. They grew up together. The cat slept at the end of the bed every single night. Well, eventually the cat got old and passed away. No! No, 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 no. And the family buried it. Or at least that's what people thought. A few weeks later, this kid starts talking to his parents about taxidermy, which is when you stuff an animal to display on a wall or a mantle. You know, you've seen fish or deer. Well, his parents think he's joking at first, but after more conversations, they realize that he's dead serious. He was so attached to the cat, he couldn't part with it, so they actually had it preserved. Now, here's where the story gets a little strange. There was one teacher at his school that he really looked up to. This teacher always encouraged him, always asked him how his cat was doing. So one morning he decides he's gonna bring his stuffed cat to school to show his teacher. He walks into school carrying a big box. The teacher smiles. "Morning, miss." "Hey, sweetie, how are you?" "I want to show you something." "Oh, okay. What's in there?" He sets the big box on her desk, opens the top, and pulls out the stuffed cat, hands it to her. "Here." "Oh my God. What is it?" "It's Mr. Whiskers. I had him stuffed." "Oh, that's lovely." Now, at this point, there were other students in the classroom as well, and they were horrified. Nobody knows what to say, and this kid's just standing there smiling like he did something good. And every day for the rest of that year, he carried around his stuffed cat, and people just let him. That's grief for you. You never know how someone's gonna handle it. This kid slammed the classroom door so hard, it cracked. The school called his parents and made them pay $400 to buy a new door. The kid wasn't happy. "You know what? I'm not happy." But him and his family handed over the money. Then weeks go by, then a month. That same cracked door was still attached to the classroom. That's what they used every day. One afternoon, he asked the janitor, "Weren't they gonna replace this door with the money I paid them?" Janitor said, "Oh, I think that money went towards something else." Oh, that ticked him off. The next day, the kid came to school with a drill. His dad's drill. He walked straight up to that damaged door, unscrewed the hinges, picked up the entire thing, and he began walking towards the parking lot. A teacher came running over. What are you doing?" "Listen, I paid for this door. I gave you guys $400. You said you were gonna get a new one. If you're not getting a new one, I'm taking my door." The principal made him put it back. Then the school installed the replacement door the same week. That's honestly hilarious. This music teacher always smelled like strong perfume. Nasty. You could smell her before she even walked into the room. She wore so much perfume that it basically arrived before she did, and the students absolutely hated it. One day, a few kids are hanging out in the music room. The teacher isn't there yet. One girl opens the teacher's desk drawer. "Guys, I found her perfume bottle." So she puts it on. Everyone starts laughing. "You guys, I smell like Mrs. Stevens." A couple minutes later, the teacher walks in. She stops in her tracks and takes one sniff. Now, everybody thinks she's gonna be mad because the kids put on her perfume. So she's walking around, she's sniffing the air, she's looking at people. And then she says, "Whoever's wearing that perfume, don't buy it again. It smells horrible. All right, class." And she walks over to the desk, opens her drawer, pulls out her perfume bottle, the one that she was smelling, and she puts it on. And everybody starts laughing because she wore it every day. And she couldn't even tell that somebody else was wearing her perfume. But she too thought it was horrible. Wow. This dad took the Pinewood Derby too seriously. You see, most parents help their kids sand the block, carve some stuff out, throw some wheels on it, and that's that. Well, not this guy. "We're gonna win, son! We are gonna win!" "Okay, Dad." A month before the Pinewood Derby was supposed to take place, this dad started treating it like an F1 race. He spent weeks reading forums, and then he hired an engineer. They were calculating the weight, the aerodynamics of the car, the wheel alignment, everything. They went through 4 different models before he was happy with it. "I think this will do." Well, race day comes, and this kid and his dad come in with their Pinewood Derby car, and this thing looks insane. Everyone's gathering to look at it. This dad's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna win." Then the races started. This car kept advancing, right into the championship. The last race comes down to this car and this kind of weirdly shaped block of wood that another kid brought. There was no fancy paint or sparkly wheels. It looked homemade. Well, the gate drops. Everyone's watching the expensive car when suddenly, no, it's gaining speed, and by inches, it wins. The room goes nuts. "No!" "It's okay, Dad, settle down." "It is not okay!" After the trophies, that dad's son asks the kid, "Hey, congrats, who built your car with you?" The kid pointed to his grandpa. The old man just smiles and waves. Turns out that grandpa carved it. The whole thing with nothing but a pocket knife while the two of them sat on their porch one night after dinner. Just a grandpa, his tool, a block of wood, and his grandson. And they won, just like they should have. Beautiful. This kid started hiding $5 bills in random library books at school. Not every book, just random ones. One day a kid checked out a book, $5. And there's a note. The note said, "Congrats on finding one of the many $5 bills I hid in books." Within 2 weeks, the library was packed with kids, but not because they wanted to read. Kids would walk into the library, pull 20 books off the shelves, go through them, and leave them on the floor. The librarians were like, "What the heck is going on in here?" The principal called an assembly and said, "Whoever is hiding money inside of library books like they're frickin' Willy Wonka, please stop! You're causing chaos!" The kid who did it never admitted to it. And legend has it, to this day, there are still some books in the library with money in them. And every so often, a student will go in there, searching, hoping to get lucky.